Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of Prime Roast, our new podcast here with myself, Angie Wong, and Chris Cordani, who I almost mispronounced this morning because you know what? I never had to say your last name before. And, I'm so PTSD now from, Kamala Harris. You know how many times I've been corrected by my producers, Kamala Harris? I can't, I have to say her name almost every day these days. So, I have a little bit of PTSD there. So I'm glad I was able to pronounce your name correctly.
Kamala. I don't even know how to pronounce her name either. The way I see it is so many people from, I guess, from going to school 5 years old and onward. I had teachers, I had professors, I had many people, all my associates, even friends of mine pronounce my name incorrectly, and it doesn't matter. It's spelled a certain way. Usually Italian names, they're tough to pronounce anyway, even though they're kind of easily spelled out. But I don't really care. If people mispronounce my name, at least they're trying to pronounce it.
Yeah, but do you know how many liberals would love to correct your pronunciation? I mean, that's before they even answer your question or even acknowledge what you're talking about. They have to correct the pronunciation of Kamala, right? Or Kamala. And I just I just don't get it. Like, why? It's just it does it hurt their ears if it's mispronounced? Or maybe because am I being racist because I'm not understanding some folk song where she was named after? I mean, I don't get it. It's the weirdest thing. Anyway, we have a great show coming up with someone who I can pronounce, which is Liz Cheney, who is going to be actively campaigning with Kamala Harris, and they're going to be kicking that off today. So Chris brought the story to us.
Yeah, apparently Liz Cheney is going to help Kamala Harris. Kamala, whatever.
Is Cheney is going to just call her Harris.
The Kamala before the storm. Liz Cheney, apparently, get this, is going to be campaigning in Wisconsin for Kamala Harris, going to be stumping for her because she figures her word will help her in the swing states. Yeah, I'm sure Liz Cheney is going to be a great help to any campaign. The only campaign she's helping is Donald Trump's.
Yeah, I'm surprised she's still around. I thought she went away. I thought she retired. I thought her and her daddy kind of they're back on the ranch. Nope. She's out there full force working Wisconsin. And is that the Bush machine that you think that's working Wisconsin, or do you think it's actually Liz Cheney?
Oh, it's both because the NeoCons have joined the Democrats. That's what it is right now. The NeoCons have been kicked out of the Republican Party. They're very upset. We're going to get into that a little bit later on because some of them put together a new anti-Trump, pro-Harris commercial that was, as the kids would say, cringy.
Ooh.
Not a big fan of that word, but I believe it is, and it's more than you think. If you haven't seen it yet, you will be well. I'm just going to let that go for a little bit later on today. That's the tease. But think about this: the neocons have no place to go. They don't really love the woke, but they're aligning themselves with it to get rid of Trump, the guy who kicked them out, or effectively had a whole horde of rank and file Republicans kick them out of the party.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think Kamala Harris wants Liz Cheney there at all? I mean, or is it just for show? I mean, remember, Trump stole the Kennedys, right? And brought them over to the Republican side. At least one of them did.
Well, one Kennedy. The rest of them are not even too happy about that. Yes.
So is this payback? You're stealing my soldiers, my chest pegs, so I'm going to steal one of yours. I mean, we also took Tulsi Gabbard, who, I think she was willingly switching over parties anyway. Not that she has already, but she's pretty much a Republican. Come on.
Well, she's basically an independent, just like Donald Trump. These aren't traditional or the Republicans that we have known throughout the last maybe 4 or 5 decades. These aren't the warmongering, the war hawk types, or as some people would have said, the chicken hawks, those who haven't served but waste no time pushing people out to war. Those people have become dominant in the Democrat Party. So Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney are out there, and they just cannot wait to just stick it to Donald Trump for taking their party over. The fact is, what I would like to see is, since we hear so much about how Tim Walz likes to go hunting, maybe him and Dick Cheney can go out for a little safari adventure, if you will.
Oh, be careful of your face. Well, I do miss the JFK Democrats. I wonder if Trump is the new JFK Democrat. I mean, remember, Trump used to be a Democrat in New York, right? As a lot of people start off and they realize, oh, maybe the Democratic Party isn't that great. But no, I mean, I do miss them. I miss the old style Democrats. They were fun. They were the old dynasties. And some of their policies made some sense, but no longer. So here's the new world order, you guys. You have Liz Cheney and Kamala Harris. I bet Liz Cheney is waving her hands for a cabinet seat. That's the only way she's going to save her political career. It's in the toilet. She took a quick break, went back to Wyoming, watched Harriet Hagerman completely steal the show in that state. And I mean, that's her home state, and her daddy's not going to just give up the keys to Harriet MAGA Hagerman. So this is like their comeback. We're seeing a lot of comebacks, Chris, of like the kicked out people from from both parties. You have Liz Cheney on this side trying to climb back into any party. It doesn't even matter. It's just any party will do. She just wants to get back in power. Same thing in New York City with Andrew Cuomo, right? He is
Oh,
like
yes.
oh yeah, I mean, it's not even petition time yet, and Eric Adams hasn't officially unresigned yet. So it's just, but he's already kind of like lining up all the signatures that he's going to need for a special election. So you have the part two of the persona non gratas coming back in. I love it. I love it because that's like when you're in politics, you actually respect that, right? Because everyone gets kicked out once or twice because of, you offended somebody. And then when they can actually get back in, you're like, okay, all right, good. You got muscles. I like this. So I look forward to watching this show.
And what's happening to Eric Adams, by the way, is absolutely disgraceful as far as New York City and the deep state is concerned. The guy spoke up and said, "Hey, we can't handle this influx of migrants here. Where are the people who really need the services that we have can't get them? And now you're trying to get us to take more just because we're a sanctuary state." First off, Adams has the power to say, "No, we're no longer a sanctuary city." That's number
Mm.
one. He could have done that. But if he did that, maybe the deep state would have come down even harder on him. Right now, they took out his police commissioner, his fire commissioner, the chancellor of schools, anybody who's a real close ally of him within the government. That's it. And wait until he is knocked down or forced to resign in one way or another. There's a far left lunatic who makes let's put it this way. Jumaane Williams is the public advocate. There's no deputy mayor that will take over. The deputy mayor is not to take over in New York City. The charter says the public advocate does, who's usually a far leftist, like Bill de Blasio, by the way. Bill de Blasio will look like Rush Limbaugh compared to Jumaane Williams.
Maybe. Look, I mean, I actually ran a candidate against Jamani Williams. That's Dr. Debbie. She's on Fox News all the time talking about health issues. It's a soft role. It's actually a non-role. There's really, if you look at the duties for it, yeah, it's someone with a blowhorn for the most part. So it's kind of funny that he gets to play interim mayor. Shall Eric Adams actually resign? Which he's fighting. He's fighting, and I think he's going to expose a couple of things. But he also understands it's out, and all of his, not just his deputies and commissioners and fire chiefs, but his entire staff is like jumping ship only because they want to ensure that they have a new job on the end at the very end of this with the new administration. What's really interesting is, this is I don't study war. I'm sorry. I don't read a lot of history books, but I can tell you when you take out the fire chief, the NYPD commissioner, and then his replacement, and then the deputies underneath him, and also, the not DOE, they don't call it that anymore. Or maybe they do. It used to be Board of Education when I was going to public school there, but I think it's the Department of Education. When you take out all those chiefs, and then you take out the general, I mean, this is wartime, right? This is exactly how it's done. And right now, no one's running New York City. That scares me for two reasons. Remember, when all of this was happening, it was in the middle of the United Nations General Assembly week, right? This is like the week when the rank and file, they're not allowed to take a day off from New York City and from work. They had to be there. But meanwhile, they had no leadership there. So I kind of scratched my head as to the timing of that. And then now, right now it's a critical time in New York as well, because, you're 30 something days out from a major election. New York City is about to start their early voting. All of this scares me because there's no one watching the shop, and everyone is distracted with this like mess of a administration, because maybe there's some infighting, who knows, but no one's watching New York City. And that's we need to protect New York City. Chris, I think you're within the vicinity. I'm from New York
Yeah.
City, and we know how that city runs by now. We've kind of been there enough decades to understand when there's no leadership, who knows what's being snuck in, who knows what's going on. It's a weird distraction. And 35, or well, less now, probably 33 days until the election, that doesn't sit comfortable with me at all.
Well, what doesn't sit comfortably with me is if anybody speaks up against the deep state like this. Donald Trump has the resources to fight them. He's been standing in front of that wind tunnel and not moving for a long time. They've thrown legal actions against him. They've thrown the media at him. They've thrown um, uh, they've had some estranged relatives come out of the woodwork to write books about him, that sort of thing. He just stood there and took it. Not everybody's like that. Eric Adams is trying to do that, but he doesn't have the financial resources and the media savvy that Donald Trump has. So it's going to be
Mm.
very tough for him. But I do like to see him standing up to the deep state. What we all should know is that this is exactly what happens to you if you speak up about them. They'll have something on you and they're going to use it against you. This is why you
Yeah.
see a lot of these people falling in line. Another reason why you're seeing the NeoLibs, if you will, which is the Dick Cheneys, not the Dick Cheney, the Liz Cheneys of the world falling in line, the
Mm.
Adam Kinzingers of the world falling in line with the deep state.
Right. No, absolutely. Look, if you're in the dark arts of politics, this is playbook stuff, right? They're coming after you, they're coming after your deputies, they're coming after your family, they're coming after your savings, and they're going to throw you in lawfare. That is the modern day warfare in politics. And we're watching it, and even Eric Adams, you can see, he sees all the steps happening. He even said, "I expected an indictment. I expected all this. We were prepared for this." Um you know, yeah, okay. Either way, if he survives, if he doesn't survive, he's fighting for his political life. But again, who's taking care of New York City? Andrew Cuomo wants to step in. He's jumping up and down, like just giddy as hell, because guess what? Special election? Well, that's going to be a really fast election, right? There's no primaries. You don't even have to declare a party because it's an open election in that way. Andrew Cuomo will have a lot of difficulties raising serious cash. I'm talking like, I forget Eric Adams how much he raised, but it was like in the tens of millions of dollars, right, to run to be New York City mayor. Cuomo doesn't have to do that. Special election, a couple of weeks of campaigning, and that's it. And he's well known. He hated the whole Me Too thing. He hated how Hochul took his job. He hated everyone who backstabbed him. He's on fire. I think he's going to really go for it. Unfortunately, on the Republican side, we have Curtis Sliwa, who I like him, and I like his team a lot, but it's difficult. You have Manhattan and Brooklyn in the way, and that's super blue. You're not going to get around that. So for a New York City race, Cuomo might actually pull this off and get back in.
Oh, the good thing about an open election is you get to see some pretty cool people running for office. You know who I want to see run
I
against?
like who?
Remember the Kramer guy, the guy who Kramer was based off of. He actually
He
ran for
ran?
mayor once. Yep, he ran for mayor.
He did?
Yes, he did.
I
But the
don't
guy
remember
I
that.
want to see, and this is the guy I would vote for if I was living in New York City. I want to see Jimmy McMillan back in politics. Rent is too damn high, and the fact is, that's the truth.
Ooh, I love that facial hair. Does he still have it? Well, Chris, you kind of like you're halfway there with like the pulled back ponytail. Okay, you kind of got that
It
halfway.
looks
You just
good,
got
doesn't it? I
you
mean,
got to just wrap it around the front of your face, and then you got the whole look.
There it is again. Yeah, I just need that. That's right. That mustache, and I don't know if I can grow the beard as he could, but
The
I'm sure I
pom
can do
poms.
something with it. Yeah, yeah. But I do have the glasses, so I guess that works as well.
And the gloves. What's with the Michael Jackson OJ gloves? What is that about? Like, is it cold? It's so weird.
The
I
fact
don't know.
is, the fact is, if Jimmy McMillan can do it, it makes it cool.
Okay, let's see all the crazies jumping in. Look, it's going to be ranked choice voting in New York City. It's fuzzy math voting is what I call it because I still can't figure it out. I've actually asked the BOE, the Board of Elections, to explain it to me and they gave me a pamphlet and I'm like, I'm not the smartest. I'm not the smartest, but I can read and I kind of comprehend a couple of things. When I can't understand ranked choice voting, and then the first place becomes the second place, and then like they all hop over each other, it doesn't make sense to me. And that's when it comes time to election, I kind of want things in black and white. I do. I want like votes to be counted. One vote for him, one vote for her. That's kind of how it's just very basic stuff, but New York
You
City
mean
can't
the
be
easy
basic.
way? Yeah, the easy way. This ranked choice voting is just a means to keep the far left in power, and there's always going to be a bunch of weirdos from the far left running in there, and one of them can sneak right in with that second or third place vote and then the final runoff, and
Mhm.
that's something you just don't want. But
Yep.
the Republican Party is pretty much dead over there. I would say throw all in, right in Jimmy McMillan. He's our guy because the fact is the rent is even damn higher than
Uh,
too damn high.
oh my goodness. Could you imagine? No, you're right. You're gonna have all the crazies jump in. I think Cynthia Nixon is expressing interest. I forget which party she was with. She was some like sorry,
That's
some
right.
made up party. Um
I
uh
remember she was trying to pull that as well. I remember when Al Lewis ran for governor of New York. Do you remember that?
I don't know who he is.
Al Lewis,
Sorry.
Grandpa Munster, the guy who played
Oh,
Grandpa Munster ran for the Green Party, and
right.
he's a major socialist. I've actually interviewed him. He's a cool guy, but he's definitely a big time socialist. The funny thing is, he runs for the Green Party. He runs as a Green Party candidate, I believe, around the same time that Howard Stern tried to run as a libertarian.
Oh my. I would love to see AOC jump off her platform and run for New York City mayor. I would love to see
She
that
might win.
happen.
You don't want to see that because she might win, and she'll.
You know what? That's fine. Let's contain her to the 5 boroughs and leave her there. Okay. And lock her in those parameters. She does not, no, I don't want her making laws for the rest of the country, right? Let's lock her in New York City. If you want to turn that super blue and progressive, that's fine because the rest of Congress will not be giving you federal funds, or at least not that much. I mean, at least we could do that to kind of give her her lollipop, right?
Well,
Look, it's sad. And I guess I'm saying this because I'm now with Miami and growing that city. But I don't know of too many people going to New York City anymore to do business. And this is a real thing. I was talking to some airline execs. There's one major airline CFO that I went to a party with last week, and I asked her, said, "Hey, how about we bring your airline, do a direct flight from Tokyo to Miami or somewhere within Asia to Miami, because we could certainly use the building funds and we can certainly, bring some nice investments from that region." And I go, "Well, why do you currently have 5 flights to JFK? Who flies to JFK anymore?" She actually said most of them are not full. They actually cut back on the flights from, I mean, granted, it was back a couple of years ago. They had 5 flights. They might have 4 now, but yeah, no one's going into New York City. And a lot of them they have to fly to New York City to get to other ports, but generally that's the trend. It's really sad because I know if you walk through Midtown Manhattan, yeah, it's not
mhm.
the same Midtown anymore. It's full of tourists, which is great, but then all like the dry cleaners and the coffee shops and kind of the supporting retail for the office workers, they're all shut down. It's all, it's you're not getting as many you're not getting those type of services anymore. So they're trying actually to move in a lot more residential tenants into Midtown just to kind of fill up the gaps and keep the small businesses going. And look, it's going through a revival. It's going to be a tourist town. It's going to be what we called old Europe pretty soon. It's very pretty to look at, great to walk around in, great to get a hot dog. But as far as the center of business in America, no, I think that's shifting.
Although the reason why I wouldn't want Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to be mayor of New York City is because she'll make that congestion pricing happen, and it would be double. That's the whole thing. That would be really annoying.
Yeah, Americans, are you like done with this experiment, this progressive experiment that we've all been under sieged with for the last, I don't know, over 4 years now, right? AOC has been in office for about what, 6 years now, something like that, right? I mean, it's been a spell that was put on a lot of people. I think that's been lifted. She's been relatively quiet, mainly because Nancy Pelosi gave her a lollipop, right? Okay,
Uh,
shut up and we'll
a
get your
binky.
climate change done. Shut up and we'll make you a billionaire. I mean, she's worth $29 million now.
Well,
That was the last reporting I saw.
two of her biggest allies were kicked out of Congress, by the way, by their own party. That would be
Yeah.
Jamal Bellringer Bowman and
Yeah.
the other crazy woman from I always forget her name, the one
Oh
from
yeah, that
Missouri.
lady.
That one. And they were voted out by their own party for a lot of reasons. They're immature. They're you've heard the concept of a man child. Well, the females are women children as well in there. The squad is a bunch of women children and man children,
Oh
and
my
that's
gosh.
that's horrible. And
What do we call them? We can't call them women children. We got to have a better name.
no,
I don't even know what it is. I mean,
leftists. Just call them leftists. It's the same thing. It's a
it
good
is.
good brush. Soy munching leftists. There we go.
Soy munching. Oh my goodness. I encountered a soy munching leftist this morning. I was so angry. I was having
Tell.
a great day, walking my dogs, getting my usual morning coffee, decided with a chocolate croissant this morning. And this woman the same bakery that I go to every single morning, the woman in front of me, of course, Karen to the max. I'm sorry. I know we have to get off the Karen thing because I have good friends named Karen. Yeah, no dogs allowed in here. I'm like, lady, how many times have I been here and how many times have you been here? Get out of here. Right. So my New Yorker came through for sure. And I didn't have to say very much. I just gave her the death eyes.
You could have just said,
Um,
"Then get out."
well,
After
I
she said, "No
guess
dogs allowed."
it's like I go every morning, I pick up my coffee and I'm respectful, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I hold my dogs back and then I peacefully go outside and enjoy my morning. And that's like my kumbaya moment, my center of gravity moment. So, and this woman just dared to tell me no dogs left. Who made up the policies? Oh, her head. So, all of it just, it's just I don't know. We're growing an entire generation of this,
Yeah.
and we're
Couple
so
of them. Couple of them.
yeah, but I don't know how to undo it because I've got kids and they see this and they don't know which direction to go in. I really I say this often. It's hard to raise a son these days.
Mm.
Boys, it is like they just don't know which direction to go in. Like, do I go? Am I too sensitive? Should I be more alpha? Should I be more beta? Like, I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to get in trouble. And they're so confused. And in the end, what happens? They shut down. They'll go and they'll attract, play video games, stay in their rooms, and do that. And I do feel for the boys. I know that's completely off topic, but I often think like, how are we raising our boys now? Because what I've been seeing, and right now I'm in a very, very liberal zip code. I mean, I've never seen more feminine men in my life. I don't even know. I feel overly masculine next to them. That's how weird it is.
Now that sounds like a cue if ever I heard one, because these soy boys are actually manly in the eyes of, get this, Sam Elliott, who has officially marked himself as part of Team Deep State.
Oh.
Have you seen his pro Kamala commercial?
No, but I've been hearing a lot of noise about it. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this commercial. I don't know if I've seen it because I didn't know his name, but let's see it.
Sam Elliott, that's the tough guy, if you know, in these westerns and everything, and he's the kind of sort of narrated. He's the guy at the end, at the bowling alley and at the bar and in the Big Lebowski, that sort of thing. You know his voice. Everybody knows the man's voice. He's considered a tougher guy, but he actually did the voiceover for the Lincoln Log Project, or whatever they want to call themselves, in again, the NeoCons, who were kind of forced out of the party and whining about it in their latest anti-Trump video. Check this out.
I can't believe we're having this conversation again. So here we go. You know who the candidates are. you know what's at stake. One candidate promises a divided America filled with lies and hate, and one stands for change.
Oh yeah, this one bothers me. Did you see that? What was it, a 60? Was it 60 minutes? It was CNN. I think it was a Dana Bash interview with Kamala Harris and Ted Walz when
Mm-hmm.
she had to have a lapdog there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stop with this photo for the main reason that around the time the mainstream media had sort of moved away from the iconic Trump fist pump photo, the fight photo where he dodged the bullet and everything else
Mm-hmm.
at the Butler rally. The left tried to make this photo, or kind of a mash of two photos, as you can see. This mash of two photos they're trying to make as an iconic Kamala Harris photo. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Kamala Harris photo. Don't worry about that. They're trying to make this an iconic photo, and now it's in the ads. It's all over the place, and there were interviews, there were discussions about it, how much it means.
Oh boy.
This is the way the narrative works. They took away a real historical moment, and they had to kind of mash two photos together to create Kamala Harris's own iconic photo.
Let's see it.
This is it. This is the one right here.
Harris
Oh.
has more
That was
courage,
it.
more courage.
The grandniece watching her speak.
Oh gosh, that's like. I mean, is that strong?
It was talked up. We'll put it that way. And but they're trying to make that as iconic as the fist bump.
See,
That was
I
kind of mashed together.
I look at that and I just think the party of like pedophilia. I don't know why. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
I think you know why.
Kamala Harris has more courage, more honor, more guts than this guy ever had.
Really? Okay, Sam. That's enough here. Kamala Harris didn't have the guts to do 3 debates with Donald Trump, and she's still afraid to go on Fox.
Yeah, but we have to understand this is a Hollywood script, and Sam Elliott clearly was paid a lot of money to read and be the narrator for this commercial. Everyone has to understand that, right? These endorsements, they're not like coming from the heart. It's not like Julia Roberts has to embrace Kamala Harris, like she has to do it and endorse her. It's because they're paid. And if it's not by actual money, it's by film roles. You guys get that?
That's what happens. Basically, you have to sell your soul to the left to get anywhere near the good roles anymore.
That's right.
Well, let's move forward with this.
So you decide. Are we really going back down that same fucking broken road?
Ooh, he had to say an F word just to solidify and put an exclamation mark on the fact that I'm from the left and we're smarter than you and better than you. And I'm going to drop an F-bomb just to prove that.
That looks like the Karen that yelled at me today.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't bring your dog around her.
Nope.
Actually,
she'll eat the dog. She'll eat him.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the dog might pee on her. Maybe that's a good thing. But no.
Then she'll
Or are
sue
we
me.
moving forward towards hope, towards freedom, towards change?
We know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success.
And of course, she and Joe Biden have worked very hard to destroy that middle class.
Right. Is that all like, AI, CGI stuff happening there? Because I don't remember seeing that many people at the convention.
Yeah, it's camera angles, that sort of thing. But there were a lot of people at that convention. I'll give them that, because for the Democrats, that's a big party. It's what it is. It's their big party. They can smoke their minorly laced pot, and they can listen to their I don't know, their liberal kumbaya music and things like that afterwards.
Beyonce.
Yeah.
Promise that lives will change, and the time for change is now. So what the hell are you waiting for?
Oh, there he goes again. What the hell are you waiting for? Instead of just, what are you waiting for? What the hell are you waiting for?
Well,
I'm Sam Elliott.
Is that tough guy talk?
Yep, I'm tough. I'm a man. And what the hell are you doing not voting for the soy boy vote? All right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that.
It's the woman thing?
It's the woman thing. Time to get over that. That's another expression. Get over it. You have to get over it.
What am I getting over? The woman thing. What's the woman thing? Because it's he's saying, because if you don't want to vote for a woman, then get over yourself. Is that what the message is? Oh, I see. Because that's still a thing. Okay, Democrat.
Right.
Hope for change.
Change. Seriously, you want to vote for change, you have to get rid of the people who were there the last few years.
Yeah, I want to vote for change, please.
It's time to be a man and vote for a woman.
And there you go. Be a man and vote for a woman.
Oh, that is cringy. That's the right word.
But it's
Cringy
basically,
is correct.
do you remember back in
Ooh.
first or second grade when the bully would try to get you to eat worms, or some so obnoxious kid would try to get you
No?
jump your bike over some ramp that you know somebody's going to break their leg on,
Yeah.
but they and you don't want to do it, but then they'll say, "What are you, chicken?" And that's
Oh,
it.
oh yeah.
They're playing
Be
upon
a
your fear of,
man.
yeah, be a man, man up. That's it. Man up. You're a chicken if it's not if you don't vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay, does that work? I'm just curious, like, do you think that messaging works if you bully someone to be a man to vote for a woman in a party that confuses and like fluidly like blends the two anyway? I don't get like, do you use gender for your benefit or do you use it to threaten people? Like, I don't get this messaging. It's so confusing to me. And if you're a trans watching that, you're like hating Harris right now, right? Be a man. That's all they've been told when all they wanted to do is be a woman. But you
That's
gotta
right.
be a man.
But
It's so confusing.
I guess what they're trying to do is prey again. The whole thing about insulting your masculinity if you don't vote for anything. Again, when you're a little boy, when you're first, second, third grade, kids will call you a girl or a girl's name if you don't follow their dare. Look what happened to poor Flick on A Christmas Story. He had to do that triple dog dare, or else he was going to be a chicken.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, someone wrote that script. It was clearly cleared by the campaign of Harris. I guess. I mean, are they trying to go? Are they trying to be alpha males and trying to go for the Trump vote there? They're trying to go for the crossover. I don't. I'm trying to understand why in the world would you ever allow that script to go out? I would never. Campaigning, that is just like it doesn't make any sense because it actually turns everybody off.
And Sam Elliott did not have the guts to say, "I can't do this script. It's crap." Well, he
Oh
should have read
no.
it. He should have read it truthfully too. Like, "Oh, get out that go to why don't you get up and go to Starbucks, drink up 4 soy lattes, and have some a soy bar, and then go vote for Kamala, or else you're
Oh,
not a
I
real man."
see. No, no, no. I'm starting to understand the whole casting of this now because he's like Mr. Tough Guy, right?
Right.
Supposedly, he's the alpha man. He's telling men to man up and vote for a woman, and they think that's the strategy to do it because you're clearly this was written by women. I'm sorry. This is not written by a dude
I'm
at
sure.
all.
Well, technically, it is the Lincoln Project, so yeah.
Oh. Oh boy. Poor Kellyanne. I still I wish her the best and her family. Oh
Well, I guess that's
my.
another prime roast.
That is a family drama nobody wants to get into. That is a sticky, sticky one. But you know what? Just so everyone knows, both sides are making money on this. So, it's a big money grab. It's such a weird, dirty thing to do, but I don't feel bad for either of them because they're both like making money, literally like checks every day on this. I know Kellyanne's certainly pouring in the cash with her Fox contract and also her consulting fees, which I had a friend go to her. She charged $250,000 for a lunch.
I'm in
So,
the wrong business. I mean,
oh,
what?
come
If you
join
want to,
us.
first off, if you want to have lunch with me, all I ask for is maybe a beer. Okay, so that's like $7, $8. I'm
Oh,
happy
don't
with it.
cheapen
One
yourself.
pint. No, I just like the company. I'm fine with having lunch and talking to people. Now, if we're talking an office visit, I probably won't charge as much as Kellyanne Conway. So,
Yeah, yeah. Well, she can command it because she can make you a celebrity in the political world. So yeah, I get it. I get it. I think uh I probably shouldn't say this because I can't remember the story, but I think it was the New York Post who reported that Andrew Cuomo actually sought her help to be a campaign manager, a campaign consultant back when he was going through the Me Too stuff. So yeah, no, I think she could be worth her money. I don't know. I mean, I think she is. She certainly has every single phone number in on her iPhone there to make calls and do stuff. So who knows?
Oh, maybe we can find somebody to run for mayor of New York City. Before we close out here, do you remember when California had that open governor election back when what was his name? The crazy uh, Gray. I forgot his name. The guy was
Oh,
corrupt
yes.
guy. He had to step down, and they
Yes.
had Arnold Schwarzenegger won the race that year. But there's like 50 some odd people running for governor, and I still think I would have voted for Gallagher. Just because
Okay.
I wanna see the inaugural ball where he'd smash a watermelon or smash a disco ball, if you will, because it would be an inaugural ball or something like that. Maybe the inaugural watermelon, it'd be a splash zone at the inauguration. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Gary
Well,
Coleman ran, by the way. Gary Coleman ran.
oh, wow. You get all the freaks coming out. Look, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Robert De Niro jumped in the race for New York mayor. Okay. I would not be surprised at all. Cuomo is trying to clear the deck right now for himself. And I get that because this is going to be his comeback year, right? Okay.
I still say they should bring back Jimmy McMillan because I have to tell you, he brings you want to talk about Kamala Harris bringing joy to a campaign. This man brings real joy and real substance to a campaign because, in fact, rent is too damn high.
Was that his only platform that rent was too high? I
In
mean,
fact,
that's
when he did a debate, I think he ran for governor at one point. I think it was governor at that point. He answered every question with "rent is too damn high," except for I
yeah.
think one. There was one where he was asked about gay marriage, and he goes something. And I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think he said, "If you want to marry a shoe, you can marry a shoe."
Oh, great. Yeah, we definitely want him in leadership for sure.
I just want him
Um,
in the debates. That's where I want him. I don't
he's an
care.
entertainer. No, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised when there is going to be the first special election debate for New York City mayor. You may see Robert De Niro. I think that would be really fun. Maybe
Mm.
Paul Rudd might want to jump in there. He's a nice West Village resident who wants to get into politics. I don't know. It's gonna be laughable. I just don't understand how this all is it's all gonna work. But Andrew Cuomo, this is his comeback year. He this is his Olympics, right? You know, you're not going to find a seat anywhere in New York more blue than the five boroughs. So, it's going to be Democrat takes all. I wish Republicans had stronger leadership in New York City. I wish that they could actually produce a good candidate that people can vote for, even liberals. But we can't do that because it's New York, and the Republican Party is not very very strong there. So I look forward to new leadership in New York. Actually, I think Eric Adams is done. Everyone's already doing his autopsy, which is
Mm.
sad, because he was kind of like holding back the fort. He was like, I don't want necessarily just federal funds. I actually want to help New Yorkers, and maybe that's going to be his legacy, right? So, but unfortunately, he's got to get dirtied up first in the courts.
And that wraps up another prime roast. That's basically it. We'll be roasting some more in the future, but check us out on our YouTube channel. We're all over the place. You can find us on Nosebook. We'll be on X. We have a lot of things going there, and I think we're putting some shorts on TikTok. We'll just find us around. I'm also easy to find on X at Chris Cordani1. Angie.
Yeah, and I am easily found on X as well at Angie Wong. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today, and stay hungry.